Greetings, friends, and welcome to Captain Samuel's Flying French Kisses. The book of Rack the Healer originally appeared in the magazine Worlds of If in 1972 and was published as a novel in 1973. It's by United Statesian author Zach Hughes, a pseudonym for Hugh Zachary. It is science fiction romance. Synopsis: aliens have sex so incredible, they save the world. Yeah. So basically, it is about this far future world that's dying. And the creatures that live there live in transparent domes made from animal secretions, and all of their air is provided to them by bug-like plants called breathers. And they live off of this broth made by sea slime. So the sentient aliens that live there are all one species, but there's 4 different types of them. So the first type are the keepers. And this book's weird, so buckle in. Keepers have the mind of a 6-month-old, but their subconscious mind can be used as a computer. So other members of this colony can come to a keeper and talk to it, and all their memory or scientific data is uploaded into the keeper's subconscious memory banks. The keepers are also voluptuous sex toys. Next, you've got the farseers. The farseers have no eyes, but they use this telepathic sense like radar that allows them to see past the poisonous clouds of their world and look at nearby moons and nearby stars. And they're sterile, and so they're the ones that most often visit the keepers for pleasure and also to upload their scientific findings to the keepers' memory banks. Then you've got the power givers. The power givers are all female, and they can use up their life energy, some of their vitality, to fly through the air. And finally, you've got the healers, who are able to rapidly regenerate any damage to their organisms that happen when they wander throughout the world. So, for example, if they go outside of the domes, they're bombarded with radiation, they breathe all this poison gas, they might step in acid, but their body regenerates so quickly that they can do all that. So they're kind of the hunter-gatherers. They go outside of the colony, they get the sea slime and all this stuff. And all of these 4 different types of the one alien are covered in scales, and their flesh is underneath, and that'll be important later. So Rack is a healer, and again, that's one of the ones that regenerates quickly and explores outside. Rack is a healer, and he loves to explore. So as soon as he gets free time, he's wandering around on this dying planet where they live on to see if he can find traces of the old ones, the sentient life that lived on the planet before them. And it is forbidden to dig on this planet. But Rack, being curious, kind of skirts the rules, digs, and finds some artifacts left behind by the old ones. So he's exiled. He's in trouble for breaking the rules. But before he goes, he discovers that it's time for him to mate, because the healers and the power givers can only mate once in a lifetime. And this is a special opportunity, so he has a choice between get kicked out of his colony or have a little bit of giggity time there. So he goes with the romantic option, and he meets a power giver called Beautiful Wings. And even though he's supposed to be fleeing the colony, and Beautiful Wings knows that, they have sex that is so incredible that they fuse and become one body. And because they've become fused, now they can combine their powers. So Beautiful Wings, the power giver, lets Rack fly, and Rack is able to heal Beautiful Wings, the power giver, with his healing abilities, so she doesn't have to use up her vitality. And once they're done having sex, the only opening in their body beneath their scales is their mouths, and so they have to French kiss each other and like get their tongues in there for them to fuse bodies again, and then that allows them to fly and go anywhere they want. So So then they use that ability, they fly all around this dying world, and they make a bunch of other important discoveries, and then they go on a quest where no one has gone before. Or have they? The ending of the book is quite different. It is an abrupt shift to a totally different character in a different location. And this character then recapitulates the entire plot, and then at the end, finally reveals some enjoyable and fascinating epiphanies. Got all that? It was a weird book, and it was kind of complex. What I liked and didn't like about the book, it was imaginative. I loved the creativity of the 4 different types of aliens. I loved all the descriptions of this dying world and its acidic clouds and boiling streams. I liked the plot. I liked the story of romance and kind of overcoming death through love. The core story there was excellent, and I liked that. The problem was this book was padded big time. It repeated itself over and over and over again with the same information that you already had to pad out the story, basically. And there's one long section where they're all figuring out how they want to get to the moon, and that's like all these calculations and stuff. And then at the end, we really didn't need to have this different character tell us the whole story that we just read all over again, just to finally get to the end where we get some new information. So this book was padded big time. I think it would have been a quarter of the size that it was and been a better book for it. Overall, though, despite all the padding, I'm still going to give the Book of Rack the Healer 4 stars out of 5 because the core concepts in the story were interesting and enjoyable. Just know that you might need to speed read or skip some sections like I did. It's probably a 3-star book, honestly, but I really appreciate an author with an imagination, and that's Zach Hughes. And I'd never heard of this guy before, but apparently he wrote a lot of books. And doing some research on him, he's described himself as an unknown author, and I'd agree with his self-assessment. So I'm going to be on the lookout for more books by Zach Hughes, see what else he's done. Okay, hope you're all doing well. Thanks for watching.